The desire to create has been with me for as long as I can remember. I think this is a natural human instinct. Some people feel it more deeply than others, and some people translate the desire into action more easily. I'm one of the former people, but not one of the latter. Getting the things in my head into the real world is hard. I've always wished I could be more focused. That's the nature of having ADHD. My brain is a tiny chaos goblin running circles around my skull, and nothing I do will make it sit still for long. I would probably be more successful if I could stick to just one hobby, or just one type of video, but that would be so boring to me. Art is how I make sense of the chaos, and I think it's only natural that I would want to create it in many different forms, even if I'm not necessarily good at any of them. There's part of me that keeps thinking, scrapbooking isn't real art. You should be practicing drawing or painting or writing. But to me, the point of creating anything is to connect my inside world with my outside world, and I'm just looking for any way I can do that. When I put together the first few pages of this journal, I ended up with an accidental nature theme. I didn't plan it ahead of time, but it was what I was drawn to, repeatedly. I'm continuing that theme with a little variation here. I always forget what the crystals I own actually are, and then I have to dig the little papers that came with some of them out from the massive piles of seemingly random objects I have stuffed into my drawers. I swear it always makes sense when I'm putting them in there. Organization, the neurodivergent way. So I thought it would be a good idea to put all those little cards together in here now. I actually would have rather put them in my book of shadows. But as you'll probably see at the end of this video, sticking a bunch of papers into a notebook will change the shape and structural integrity of it quite a bit, and the notebook I use for my book of shadows isn't really made to withstand all that stuffing. I don't mind putting them here instead though. They fit the theme, and the theme fits my spirituality, which is almost entirely based on my love of nature. I find that I'm always more drawn to witchcraft in the winter. I tend to fall behind on my practice in the summer, at least in the sense that I don't spend much time doing things like casting spells, reading tarot, or keeping up my altar. But the core of my practice, my spirituality, is a deep reverence for nature. And I can practice that easily every day in the summer just by going outside, walking around my yard, greeting the plants and animals I meet there, or tending my garden. Those are my small but meaningful acts of worship. It's harder to do that in the winter, though. I don't feel as connected to the world around me. I feel a little like I'm in mourning. I have to work harder to make that connection, and witchcraft is how I do that. I have to find ways to bring nature inside, like I do with my crystal collection. I used to think I couldn't be a nature person, that somehow I wasn't allowed to love nature because I didn't have the capacity for long hikes. I didn't know yet that I only got tired so fast because I have a genetic chronic illness and limited energy, both mental and physical, not because I'm lazy. And even after I found out, I despaired that I would never have that capacity. I'm never going to get stronger than I was then. I've only gotten weaker. But I've found so much joy in just being outside and all, or in bringing some of the outside in. I talk about this a lot in my videos. I love sitting in the backyard and going for short walks in the woods. I love looking at the night sky, making tea, filling my space with herbs and crystals. I love being able to express some of that appreciation in my art, whether it's real art or just my little scrapbook. I'm a very sensory sensitive person. I don't necessarily like to say that my sensory processing is bad, but it is different. Overstimulation can take a lot of energy from me, like when a beeping microwave temporarily short circuits my brain, or random smells from food somebody made during the day wake me up in the middle of the night, or a crowded restaurant makes my back start spasming, or I get exhausted twice as fast because I'm too cold or too hot. I can get energy from other stimuli though. Smelling lavender, wearing my favorite sweater, petting cats, hugging my girlfriend, listening to birds chirp, feeling the wind on my face. These things recharge me, fill me up with a feeling I can only describe as love. I'm hoping to capture a little of that feeling here with the different colors and textures and even sometimes scents I'm using. Here are the pages I finished this week. I was really worried for a while that I was going to hate them, and the fact that the one sticker I used is crooked will haunt me forever, but I actually kind of love how they turned out. I especially like the little flap and the velvet pieces. I'm still a long ways from filling out the whole journal, but it's coming along nicely so far and it's really satisfying to flip through already. What are your favorite ways to create? Let me know in the comments, and as always, stay safe and keep loving each other.